What's up, everybody? This is Kristoffer Polaha coming to you live on the Polaha Chautauqua. I have a really special show for you today, and I'm just going to jump in and get started. Full confession, the format's a little different. I'm not at home. Obviously, I don't have my guitar. I don't have my song to start this half hour off, but I do have a special guest, and I want to cut to the chase, and I want to bring her on ASAP. So with no further ado, let me see if I can find her. Let me see if I can go out into the internet and find my very special guest. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Marisol Nichols. There you are. All right, Marisol, I'm going to bring you on, and let's see if you can jump in. I get to accept my invitation. Oh, you sent the invite. Let me get you here. Find it. There you are. I'm going to accept it. Ready? Come on to the show. I'm wondering, are you on your cell phone, Marisol, or are you on a computer? She's unable to join. If you're on your computer, it won't let you join. You have to be on a phone. Let me see if we can make this work. There
we
you
go.
are. Were you on a computer?
No, I'm on my cell phone.
Are you on your phone? Hi, look at you.
Hi, how are you?
What's up, pretty girl?
How you doing?
I'm
How have you
good.
been?
I'm real good. How was your event? You've got snow.
I've got snow.
It's
How do I
Christmas.
stop?
And I know I got. Now you're from an music video. That's beautiful. It's amazing.
How do I get this to normal? That's kind of normal. Oh no, it's not. It's got hearts on the side. That's not normal, is it? Oh God, no.
No, because every time you move it, there's something. That's good.
I have
Sparkles.
I keep the sparkles.
Let's keep sparkles. That's good.
How are
Okay.
you?
I'm good. How are you doing? Are you on the West Coast or are you on the East Coast?
I'm on the West Coast.
Okay, so it's 4:30 for both of us. We're both in the same breathing the same air, which is good.
Exactly.
How you doing? It's been a while. I haven't seen you since June. We made a movie together and we both just went off and had crazy adventures for summers and
It's good. How's your family?
they're good. They're inside my house right now. We're in Toluca Lake currently, and we're about to, we're having one of those weekends where everything we were supposed to not be in Toluca Lake, and then we are. It's one of those weekends where everything is a little different than it's supposed to be, but it's good. It's all working out. It's all good.
I was in Toluca Lake yesterday.
Were you?
Yes, and actually my event was at Universal Studios at that Sheraton, so I was literally right next to you. I probably should have just come over, but we could have done
this live. Yeah. But you look better than I do, so it's better. It's
That's
good.
I have a filter on with these glow things.
With your little snow stars.
That's right.
Well, let's get to it so that you and I can both we'll do our thing and then we can get on with it. So we have a movie coming out called "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." I got to be honest with you. When I got the script, I was a little confused because I was like, these two are already married and they're about to not be, and how are we going to enjoy this?
This is a Hallmark movie about divorce?
Yeah.
What
It was I was like, how are we going to make this work? And you and I went to dinner.
Yes.
First night.
Yeah.
At a really cool restaurant.
Yeah.
And we broke down the script and we started talking about it. And I think what we ended up with is really special. Like what I saw in ADR, and I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
No, I saw just what I saw in ADR, and that's it.
Yeah. I think it works. I think people are really, really going to like it.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. And I liked the fact that these two people had been married for a long time and had, they thought, grew apart. But of course, it's a Christmas movie, and we like happy endings. And I really like that I felt that they earned it.
Yeah, they earned it. Yeah, they earned it.
That. Yeah.
And we make people laugh, I think, or I hope we're going to make people laugh. Yeah. But I think, it made me laugh when I was watching it back, and I was like, and
scene,
The which one?
the parade scene.
It's obscene.
I was
Like
like,
the fact that they left it, it's obscene. And do you remember filming it? You were looking at me like,
what are you doing?
bro. Yeah.
What are you
You're like,
doing?
bro.
But it's hilarious. It's
It
hilarious.
weird. Yeah, it weirdly worked. It weirdly worked. Yeah, we have really good chemistry together. Because you never know what's gonna. Phone's crazy. Can you see me? Yeah,
I,
you never know what's gonna happen. Like on set is one thing, and then once we're in the can, and once they edit it and process it, it's another thing. It becomes a totally different, and it either works or it doesn't. And from what I saw, it works. I think people are gonna. I'm excited to see the reaction.
I can't wait to see it.
But
So, hope you're in the mood for Christmas before Halloween.
yeah, I know, right?
7 days? No. The
It's,
22nd, right? I
yeah,
can't.
October 22nd.
So, however many days that is from now.
Yeah, it's 6 days. You know, we launched their countdown to Christmas. Our movie is launching the entire.
Really?
I mean, maybe there was one Friday night, but it doesn't really. It's ours that does it. So what I wanted to talk to you about, like we can talk about Hallmark Christmas movies all for 30 minutes, but what I wanted to talk to you about, if you're down for it, and what I think a lot of people who follow this Chautauqua thing would be. Oh no, am I freezing?
You were a second. Someone
Shoot.
said,
All right, can you hear me now?
yes. Someone else said, I keep.
Man, you can hear me fine, right?
Oh, you're fine.
Okay, you're chummy. You're coming in and out like a little bit. You're choppy, but it's fine. Let's see what we can do.
I can go to LTE. What do you think? Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi.
I'm on Wi-Fi. All 5 bars. It's weird.
I don't understand it. Anyway, one of the first things you and I kind of connected with was your involvement in rescuing women and children from sex trafficking, and your involvement and your activism in basically anti-sex trafficking and anti-abuse and women's rights. You know that I'm like, people who watch this thing, they know I'm involved in the Jensen Project and that I've been an advocate for women's education, all sorts of things. So
Yeah.
when you started telling me what you're up to, Marisol, it blew my mind.
I know.
It blew my mind. I was like, hold on a second. Wait, repeat everything you just said. And you're like, no, seriously. And I was like, okay, I have to. So, and ever since you and I worked together, you launched a podcast. So on July 4th, you
Yeah.
launched a podcast. What is the official name of it now? Because you changed it, didn't
Now
you?
it's called just the Marisol Nichols podcast. We figured it was easier for people to find it. If you
Okay.
just after me, just Google Marisol Nichols podcast, and that way it comes up everywhere.
Smart.
So,
yeah. And before it was going to be called Hollywood Vigilante, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And why was it going to be called Hollywood? What do you do? What is the thing that you've done in the past? What's going on? You got to tell people your story.
I know no one ever. It's the weirdest thing to say, like, "Hi, I'm an actor, and I also." So for people who don't know or don't follow me or don't know what I do, in addition to being an actor, for about the last 10, 11 years, I've been using my acting skills and I travel around the globe, going undercover and playing different characters and infiltrating trafficking rings and taking down predators. And so I will play different roles, and I always work with law enforcement. I work with former CIA, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, like hoorah, all the guys, like everybody that you can think of, and all the acronyms. But I fell into it, and I've been doing it for about 11 years now, and it works. And I've been fortunate enough, or unfortunate enough, to see some really dark, horrible things, but then also gotten to liberate women and children, and there's no better feeling than doing that. I mean, there's like no better feeling. So that's what he's.
My dad was an attorney. He's a judge, and so I know also how sticky the law can be when it comes to prosecuting people. And one of the most impressive things about what you're doing is that you have this unbelievable track record of prosecution for the people that you're tapping into. So what is that like? like it's literally like 100%. Everyone that you've been involved in has gone and been prosecuted,
For
right?
in America, yeah. Abroad, there's corrupt cops and there's corrupt judges, and we arrest them and they walk out the back door. But at least when we've got a judge and a jury and a fair trial, they're gone. I mean, we have hidden cameras, we have hidden recording equipment. There's no getting around it. There's no, I didn't know this was a kid. There's no nothing. Like, the guys I work with are not stupid. And we get these guys to say and what they need to say, and it's pretty damn obvious. And they're not fooling any judge or any jury.
Right. They're right. They're monsters and they're getting nailed for it. And you've played children on the phone?
Yeah, because on the phone, those are actually the easy ones because I just have to meet them face to face for a tiny bit. But with those things, I'll either pretend to be a mom, drugged out meth addict selling her kid, or get on the phone and I'll make my voice sound like a little kid. And then we get the guys saying what they want to do to what they think is a 9-year-old or 12-year-old little girl. And we get it all on tape, and then they come out of hiding to meet me. And then there you go. And so I do all kinds of different things. Sometimes I play a customer, depending on where I'm going, what country I'm working in, and depending on the situation. It's just sort of like whatever is needed to get through the door and get what we need. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And do you feel safe when you do this stuff? I mean, I know we've talked about it, but like,
I'm not gonna lie. Like, the ones that I'm in America and I got a room full of vice squads with me, like, okay, fine. Like, these guys have 1,000 guns. I'm fine. Whatever. I can deal with that. It's the ones that are in the foreign countries where you don't know if you can trust the cops. You don't know if they're actually working for the bad guys. You don't know if the intel is good. You don't know if what you're walking to is a trap. That's when I'm not gonna lie. It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
scary.
But the last one that I did, we got 27 women and girls out that have been trafficked for 2 years. Some of them were young moms, like 19-year-old moms who hadn't seen their kids for 2 years. And they were never getting out. So, I just tell my partners, just get me back to my kid.
Yeah.
Make sure I come home. That's all. I just make sure I come home. So, yeah.
And then that's what the Jensen Project, and there's a lot of organizations out there that are trying to get women who've been rescued and who've been brought out of sort of the slave trade and then reintegrate them back into society. But it's almost impossible. These women, their credit cards are stolen, their identities are stolen, the credit cards are run up, so their credit's shot. They don't have, they can't get apartments, they can't get jobs. So it's a really, and to think about the fact that there are more people trapped in slavery today than there were when the Civil War broke out, that's kind of
Yeah.
mind-boggling. Like,
I mean,
that's a little mind-boggling.
10 times, like, the figures now are between 35 and 40 million people worldwide enslaved in human trafficking. And out of those numbers, 4.4 million children are caught up in the sex trade. That's sort of where I focus my efforts the most, because to me, it's the most egregious. Anytime that you violate a child, I mean, you're taking advantage of the most vulnerable. You're hurting the most vulnerable, and our future world leaders that are running this place. So that's sort of where I try to focus my energy, is for that. But yeah, not to keep everyone dark, but if you do want to learn more, because I know it's a dark subject, I try to present it in somewhat of a lighter way, if you may. But look, please Google the Marisol Nichols podcast. You can get it on anywhere where you get podcasts, or YouTube or Spotify, Apple, anywhere.
Yeah. And the show's been doing good, right? Like,
Yeah.
people are listening, and it's doing its thing, right? It's getting the message out there.
We're also, my purpose was to also educate. I have a huge audience that are young teenagers or moms, right? Moms who want to know how to keep their kids safe. So it's always vitally important for me to teach families, kids, teenagers, parents, how to keep yourself safe, not only online, but when you're out and about, and what these predators are looking for, and how they target kids and what they do. And they're on Snapchat, they're on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere where you get an internet signal, any gaming app, they're there. So the only way to beat them is to
Yeah.
know what to look for.
And this isn't, right. And it's not just little girls. They're targeting young boys, young girls, like children. They're hitting children across the board. It's all children. Yeah.
Children.
Yeah. Yeah. And it isn't to scare you guys who are listening and watching this, but what it is to do is to educate you and to let you know that there are sort of wolves at the door, and how they kind of approach. I had this woman named Dawn on from Nicosi. Have you ever heard of Nicosi, which is the National Center of Sexual Exploitation?
No.
It's a really cool organization. You should check out. I think it was 3 or 4 shows ago. Anyway, she's the CEO of Nicosi, and they're litigating. They hired a team of lawyers, and they're going after places like Twitter, Amazon, Instagram has changed the way that it's operated because of, and they have this dirty dozen list. And if you're a company and pedophiles and predators can use your company to attract prey, they're on the dirty dozen list, and they're litigating. They're literally saying from a legal standpoint, you can no longer you can't put a child doing a sexual act on Twitter and then not take it down when you find out that video was filmed when they're 13 and they did not give you consent, and they didn't give consent to have it. So there's actual ramifications that are starting to being put into place from a corporate level, which is amazing. But it's also people like you who, and that's like when I met you, I was like, holy cow, you're putting your life on the line. And this isn't like, I mean, our movie's made, right? We're not, but the work is done. But it's like you're putting your life on the line, and you're putting your career in a weird way in second place. If you could spin this and use alchemy and turn it into gold, good for you. But you're putting your career on the back burner for a humanitarian purpose, and you're literally getting in the trenches. So how did you do that? What was the first time? What was the invite? What did that look like? How does a person go from a TV show to rescuing real life human beings?
I got asked. I started learning about trafficking and hearing about the child sex trade, and I couldn't sleep. I was disgusting. I couldn't sleep. I had a kid. I had a 4-year-old at the time, and I started doing my own events, inviting different organizations that I had met. I mean, I met with everyone from the DEA's office to the State Department to the executive branch of the White House. I met with everybody and anybody who would meet with me, everybody. And long story short, through my efforts, I met former CIA, Homeland Security, child sex crimes undercover operator Tim Bell, and he go along to Haiti to observe an op. And then when I was there, he just was like, "Do you want to go? Do you want to go cover? I actually could use you right now." And my eyes got really big, and I'm like, "Huh? I mean, for real?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is what we need." And gave me the lowdown of what we needed. He handed me a baseball cap, which had a hidden camera inside. Was like, "Okay, this is the story. We just came back to the Dominican Republic, and you just came back setting up the sex party that we all travel around the world for. Da-da-da-da-da. We're interviewing this guy because we want to know where the next one is because we're tracking this guy. Ready?" And then we did. And I was good at it because I came up with a character immediately.
Yeah. You're an actor.
He kept calling, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then, "Can you do this? Do you want to get it?" And that's just how it grew. And that's literally how it happened. I mean, I didn't set out to do this by a mile, but if I can, and it works, and I don't look like a cop by a mile, and obviously I wear major disguises, but my biggest worry is always just someone's going to recognize me.
Right. Someone's be like, "Wait a minute, I've seen Roswell." No, not Roswell. Riverdale. Sorry. Sorry. Starts with an R. It's on the CW. Sorry. I know. I've seen Riverdale. You looked at me like, "Roswell? What the F is Roswell?" Polaha? Sorry.
Anyway.
So a lot of people think that, you hear Costa Rica is like one of those destination countries for sex trade. You hear Thailand, but
Philippines, United States.
United States, I think that's the thing that's the most surprising, is that the United States of America, the home of the free and the brave, is like one of the #1 countries for sex trade, sex trafficking, and sex industry, which is insane.
People travel from other countries to come to the United States to have sex with kids. They come here. Here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think the more people know about it and the more you sort of gird your community up and the more you start to become proactive, the less that's going to happen. Because again, it takes a supply and demand. And
Exactly.
if the supply is there, that means the demand is there. So we got to cut the demand off.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was so that you actually knew about this and cared about this and had done some work with this. So thanks so much for bringing this up. I thought we were just going to talk about homework.
Sorry. Yeah, no. I'm like, I always have to like put trigger warnings on these little Chautauquas because I'm like, guys, it's going to get, sorry, it's going to get a little.
I know. I actually
but,
trigger warning on all my videos that I post, podcast and stuff.
yeah.
Just like not people, but like some survivors who follow me are like,
Yeah.
can you put that on there so I don't have to see it again? I'm like, oh, I understand that. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. No, and I think there's so many people who their lives have been marred a little bit by this kind of behavior, and I think there's so many people that live in secrecy or shame, and when you can bust that in, like you bust that open and pour light into it, it's amazing. It goes away, like all of a sudden the shame goes away, and there's a lot of people when they come and they tell their stories. So I love that there's people like you in the world who are saying, listen, you're not alone. Listen, this is happening. Listen, we can fight. We can stop it. We can be proactive. So,
The second episode, the whole second episode is someone interviewing me, a friend of mine, on how I got into this and why I do it. And I share, some things that happened to me when I was a kid that I never told anyone on purpose because I didn't want it to be exploited. I didn't want Marisol Nichols shares her abuse, blah, blah, blah. Oh, God's sakes. Like, I didn't want that. But I did it in a way because I wanted to show people that just because something happens to you, that doesn't define who you are. That doesn't now make you a victim for the rest of your friggin' life.
right.
That doesn't make you anything. You choose what you do, period. And so, I wanted to kind of show people, like, look, I came from shit. Like, I came from hell growing up. And I remember the day that I had a choice. And I was like, I can either go this way, but I will end up in jail or dead. Or I can go this way. And I remember the choice I made. And I just wanted to, like, show other people that you have a choice. That you can move forward. Just because somebody does something to you, takes advantage of you, abuses you, or does something, it doesn't make you less. In fact, you can take that, use that, and turn it into something great.
Right.
Because the other way, you let them win.
Yeah.
So I just thought about that because you mentioned, that some people are dealing with that or in shame or whatever. And I just wanted to blow that open and be like, enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a powerful woman. It was fun to get to know you. It was really fun working with you. I remember your story, and the whole time I kept scratching my head, and I was like, and you were like, out of nowhere, out of ashes, I had this life. And it almost was like, I kept remarking on it, like, I was like, how did you get into acting? Like, how did you go from this to like acting, which was really just a portal for you to get to do this? It was weird the way that, I'll say God, but the universe works, where you're like, you start here, this door opens, you jump into it, you start acting, which then opens all these other doors, which then puts you in this position to then kick down all of this bullshit that you had to deal with, and in a way that is really life-saving for people. I mean, literally life-saving for other women and for children. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. Yeah, I wanted to bring you on this show to share your story, because I think the more people that know about it, the better. I feel like certain things should in pop culture be ubiquitous, and I think your podcast and what you're doing and the stories that you're telling and the things you're highlighting should be ubiquitous. People should know about it, and everybody should know about it. So go and watch Marisol Nichols' podcast. You can watch and listen. It's cool.
Yeah.
You do a cool little hybrid, and you drop a new one when every week, or is it every Wednesday?
Is a new episode. Yep.
Okay. How many are you on right now?
We just finished episode 13.
Okay. And when do
Yeah.
you filming them in real time at this point? Are you a couple weeks
I
ahead?
just did 2 last week. Like, and I gotta do, we're like, shit. I'm like, can we take a hiatus for like 2 weeks? Like, just let people catch up.
You know, you should have Dawn on from
Yeah.
Nicosi. Look her up. I'll send you her information. You should have Janet Jensen on 100% because they're both really incredible women who are doing incredible things in the same field that you're in.
That would be
And I also got a guy named Darren Mormon is doing a show on this, and he reached out, and I was like, "Do you know Marisol?" And he's like, "Can you hook me up with her?" So there's a producer that's doing live.
yeah.
He's doing something live, and I don't know if it cross pollinates with what you're doing, but you might want to. I'll
Yeah.
send you all that stuff.
Oh, wait. Because that's the other thing is that this is such a huge issue that so many people are tackling it from different sides, whether you're rescuing, whether you're lobbying, whether you're educating, raising awareness, rehabilitating, whatever. It takes like it
A
takes
village. Yeah.
a village, and everyone has to. You have to work with each other. You have to shoot. Otherwise, it just doesn't get. Then there's not a dent. So I'm happy to hear out anybody, see what they're doing, lend them a voice, have them on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll send you all their names, and then I'll let you do what you will with it. But uh, I'll let you go. It's a half hour. I like to honor time.
Oh, great! What a
You look.
fun to have me
Yeah.
on.
Thanks for coming on and
Yeah.
talking. And I'll see you on TV next week. And I think we're gonna do something. Did you get that memo about us going
Hey,
live on Wednesday?
tomorrow,
Maybe
tomorrow?
tomorrow or Wednesday?
Either way, I was like, yeah, I can do it. Just let me know ASAP. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it's tomorrow, like, yeah, we'll figure it out. But we'll do that, and then everybody come check us out. And on October 22nd, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Only on the Hallmark Channel. All right, Marisol. Good to see you.
Bye, everybody. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Bye bye.